Prometheus is the next installment in this retrospective series that we are taking a deep dive look at. Now, this is the fifth installment in the Alien franchise. Now, we have just looked at the four previous ones, the ones that were made in the 80s and 90s, and now this was the one that was made quite recently. I think it was 2013, maybe. I think it was. Prometheus came out. Now, this was Ridley Scott returning back to come and create his next lot of Alien films. And yeah, boy, we got a lot to talk about when it comes to this movie, Prometheus. So let me know in the comments below your thoughts on Prometheus. Smash it down there, smash that like button, click subscribe, and let's discuss Prometheus right now. Okay, so Prometheus, the fifth installment in the Alien franchise, is a movie that I was really excited for when it came out. I was like, bro, Ridley Scott is back. He's made some of my favorite movies. And man, he made like this absolutely incredible horror sci-fi movie in the Alien franchise. The first one that kickstarted it all. So why wouldn't I be excited for him to come back and redo something that he's already done? How exciting is that? A new Alien movie, a movie that we haven't had since AVP 2. That disaster of a film. Yes, that crappy shit. But now we get Prometheus, so I'm excited for this movie. And I'll tell you what, this is the easiest and the best way I can sum up Prometheus in one sentence. Prometheus is a really good sci-fi movie, a absolute horrible alien movie. That's what this movie is to me. That's how I best describe this movie. Now, this has some really cool ideas behind it that I actually thought were actually fantastic and worked really well as its own sort of thing. But we had to somehow tie this into the Alien franchise. Instead of just running with Prometheus as its own franchise, creating something different, giving us this new sci-fi thing, nope, we have to tie it back to Alien. And that's where I think this film really suffers, is that it's not a great Alien film because there is no alien action in this film. If you guys are expecting to see the xenomorph or any form of a xenomorph, you don't see that until the final act. Yes, you won't see a xenomorph or a deacon or whatever you want to call it, the off-breed sort of race from a xenomorph. You don't see that until the final act. That's what I mean by this is a horrible alien movie. There is no alien in it. This is a good sci-fi movie because it has this awesome theme, this awesome idea behind it of the question that we as a human race have been asking ourselves for so long. Where do we come from? Why were we created? This movie dives into that. That is the motive behind the film, is Dr. Elizabeth Shaw and Holloway finding this answer, meeting their creators who created humankind. That's what this movie is about. That's the whole motive behind the mission going ahead, is finding these engineers. I love that idea. I love that concept. That concept is so interesting and so cool. And it is something that I want to know as well. It's an answer that I'm probably never going to get. But it is just so cool in the sci-fi world to have that. We also have some other motives for other characters, like Weyland, for instance, is in this movie. Yes, he is alive, and he is in this movie, and his purpose is he created David, who is played by Michael Fassbender, as an android, as sort of like his son, and his idea is to meet these makers and to get them to prolong his life. Like, this guy is afraid of dying, and he wants to live forever. So this is his motive, is meeting them, because if they can create life, that means there must be a way that they can extend life. That's the whole purpose behind Weyland. And so you have these really cool ideas and these really cool themes in such a great sci-fi movie that is overshadowed because you just have to tie it in to the Alien franchise. And now, look, when it comes to the Alien franchise, I love it. Absolutely love it. I love the Xenomorph. I think it's a great design. I think it's really, really cool. And I love the idea behind the alien, behind the Xenomorph itself, as just an organism that was around in the galaxy, that was just there, that was just has always been there. There's this natural phenomenon that is just absolutely efficient at hunting and killing. I love that idea. Ridley Scott sort of starts to retcon it in Prometheus, and then when we look at the next movie, Alien Covenant, he starts to really mix with the origin of Alien. And it's kind of like, why do we have to do this? I'm personally not the biggest fan of what he did with it. And it starts here by David having this understanding of he wants to create life. Like, he wants to be set free. He doesn't want to be a servant anymore. And as an android, he feels like his purpose is not to serve, it's to create life. And that's where we get his extra arc in Alien Covenant. So we'll talk more about that, but I must say Michael Fassbender is absolutely fantastic as David. And you can just feel the sinister behind him in this movie. And he has this moment where he does get this black goo that the engineers did have that they were going to drop. And he does put in Holloway's drink, and Holloway then turns into this, like, creature sort of thing that is, like, disintegrating him from the inside. And, you know, he makes love to his wife, or girlfriend, Dr. Elizabeth Shaw, and then she gets pregnant with the first sort of, like, face hugger, as you want to say it. That's really what it is. It's kind of like the face hugger. It's this big, like, giant octopus thingy that she, like, cuts out of herself. It's one of the most brutal scenes. Like, she gets into the medical pod and gets it cut out. And, like, you just see it. It's absolutely insane. Like, that has been one of my worst fears ever since seeing the Alien franchise, is having an alien inside me. Like, that just creeps me out so much. But that's why I love it, because it gives me that creepy vibe. And this is where Ridley Scott does tap into the horror elements that he did have in the first one, where he does dive into when we're in that actual, like, what is it called? It's like that big, giant temple sort of thing, where they do discover the head of the human being looking thing, which is the engineer. And that's when they start to figure out, oh my god, we must be in the right spot. But then there's all these these metal vase around that are supposed to be chilled. And obviously David takes one, and that's where he gets the black ooze from. But this is where you start to get those horror elements, because two people get left behind when a storm comes in, and now they're stuck in there. And you just get this feel of dread, this thrilling sensation on the edge of your seat. And when this weird ass reptile looking snake thing comes out of the black goo, you know you're in for trouble. And, like, one of the worst things that I could ever think about is going on an alien planet and meeting something like that can snap your arm, go into your suit, and then it comes in, and there's nothing you can do when it's in your helmet, and it goes straight down your throat. Like, that to me is one of the worst ways to go out, and that's what happens in here. And then obviously it has acid as well, so we're already getting incidents, like, tie-ins to the Alien franchise with the acid blood and everything like that. So that then hits someone else's helmet, and he falls into black ooze, and he turns into, like, this weird creature thing as well. And it's insane. He starts wrecking fools, and then he gets burnt. Like, it's insane. It's absolutely insane. Like, there are some great characters in here. I love that opening sequence as well with the engineer seeding life. Now, there is a alternative version to that in the deleted scenes with an elder and more of them there. So you do have scenes as well that do alter things as well. We do see an alternate ending as well. There are some deleted scenes that I would, recommend go checking out as well when it comes to it. It just gives you a bit more information when it comes to Prometheus that I think you guys should check out. This is definitely, I must say this though, this is definitely the best looking Alien film for me. I think this is absolutely stunning. I think this film really nailed the cinematography. Those wide shots were absolutely incredible. They looked great. The design looked great. One of my pet peeves though is when you do a, prequel like this, you go back to those original ones in the 80s and 90s, and you look at the technology we had with the visual effects and stuff like that, and you understand that is a product of the time. But when you are trying to tell me that this movie is supposed to be before those movies, and I see the ships, and then I see the computers on this ship compared to those ones, and you're trying to tell me that those computers in the old Alien movies are supposed to be more advanced than the ones in this movie and Alien Covenant. I don't buy that, and that to me is a problem, and that is just those aesthetic little things that you're looking for, those little details that kind of like, you're like, I kind of don't believe that, because that looks ancient compared to this stuff. So you have those issues. That's gonna be one of those things when it comes to, the product of time of the 80s, the 90s, that stuff. Like, they just didn't have, and they couldn't really tell you what computers were going to look like in the future, so they had to do the best job. But that is just a nitpick for me. the story, I really enjoy the story where they're going to meet the engineers and try and discover that. We also have Charlie Theron, who's absolutely incredible here as Waylon's daughter as well. And that scene where she is talking to Waylon and it's just, you can see that their relationship is just broken between them two, and she just wants him to die already. Like, there's no love there. And I love that. Like, it's cold, it's great for the character. It works so well. I love Elizabeth Shaw as well. I think she's fantastic. She's on a mission and she's always there to look for it. And how do they tie this into Alien, you are asking? Well, you remember that big giant squid we were talking about before that Elizabeth Shaw had in her belly? Well, she got it caught in the lifeboat sort of thing. When that gets ejected, when they go and blow the other ship up, which is actually taking the black goo to Earth to destroy all the human beings, the engineer follows Elizabeth Shaw into there, and then she opens the hatch, it grabs onto him, and it basically sends in a thing in and grabs his face and everything like that, like a face hugger. And this is where we get our first look at a deacon, I'm pretty sure it's called a deacon, of like a xenomorph. This is the first instance, and this is where you're going to go, hey. So I guess this is a part of the Alien franchise now. Because up until that point, you didn't really, like, there is this one scene where you see an alien queen sort of on the wall there when it comes to the engineers. Now, whether or not that is actually the xenomorph, it's hard to tell. I mean, it resembles it, yes, I guess, but I'm not 100% confident that I can say that it is a xenomorph. But, you know, the xenomorph could be a off-breed of that sort of alien race. You just never know. But obviously, we don't have the third movie because when we get to Alien Covenant, there's other things that contradict things in the Alien franchise that I just left unanswered. And we never got a third movie that really, you know, worked it up and tied it into the whole first origin story of Alien known as Alien. So that's a bit of a bummer. But yeah, so we see the Deacon for the first time, and then Elizabeth Shaw grabs David's head, and David's like, I can drive the alien ship. If you put me back together, we can fly out of here. I can drive it. And you know what? We can go back to Earth. But she has other ideas. She wants to go to Paradise, which is what the planet is called. That they are from. The engineers are from Paradise. She wants to go there and she wants to confront them and ask them, why do they want to destroy the human race? What did we do? And like, that is a typical response. Like, I would be the same as well. I'd be like, why did they want to kill us? Like, what did we do wrong? How can we correct this? And then that will move us into Alien Covenant, which is going to be the next movie we're going to talk about. But look, Prometheus for me, I enjoy this movie. I really do. I like the horror aspects that Ridley Scott brought in. I like the pacing. I like the visuals. I think it's absolutely stunning. The cinematography is fantastic. Best looking alien film for me. Even better looking than Alien Covenant. I really do think this one is better looking than that. I thought the designs of the engineers were great as well. I love the themes, the ideas that Ridley Scott was trying to do. I thought this was a great sci-fi movie, but unfortunately, it's a horrible alien movie because there is no alien in it. This is like having a Halloween movie where Michael Myers does no kills, like does 1 kill or 2 kills. Oh, wait a sec. That's Halloween Ends, isn't it? I'm done. I'm absolutely done. That's it. I'm done.
Alrighty then.
So yeah, so there you have it. I like this movie. I don't think it's a great alien movie though. So let me know in the comments below, what did you guys think of Alien Covenant? No, we're not talking about Alien Covenant. We are talking about Prometheus. Let me know down in the comment section below. Prometheus, did you love it? Did you hate it? Smash it down there. Smash that like button for me and click subscribe as well. And I'll see you guys next video. Until then, stay safe. Peace out.